In this amazing video, we will demonstrate how to properly prepare, format, and complete a typical homework assignment in this class. In order to follow along with this video, you should start SSMS. You should start the VPN to connect to the college network. And you should log in to Canvas. When you receive a homework assignment, it will look something like this. And I will tell you that once you've mastered the correct format for the assignment, you can skip down to the third page to actually do the work of the assignment. This video will cover the information on the first 2 pages of a typical homework assignment. Don't freak out. The homework assignments are not that long. The first 2 pages are just boilerplate that are standard for all of the homeworks, or most of the homeworks that you will do in this class. The first thing you'll need to do after you've opened the homework and studied it is to open a blank document. And if I were you, I would immediately save it so you'll have the correct file name. And in this case, let's assume that this is assignment 2. The correct format for the file name is your 6+2 followed by an underscore followed by the word assignment and then a 2-digit assignment number with a 0 padding to the right. Since this is assignment 2, the assignment number then is 02. This is important because there are many people in the class and we must name our documents consistently in school and at work so other people can follow what we're up to. After you've saved the file, you can flip back over to the actual assignment that you were given, and we're going to peek down at the bottom and we're going to note that we are writing queries against the Pop-Tarts database. Okay, well, we may not have talked about that yet, but you still have access to that database on our server because the assignment says to use the Pop-Tarts credentials that have been provided for you. Those credentials are on Canvas. Under Module 0, also called Getting Started, in a document labeled Credentials for some databases used in this course. I'm not going to open that document now because it has some confidential information in it that I don't want to include in this video, but you can certainly open that document when you need to look up some credentials for a particular database. Some homework assignments will be done against your personal database on our server, and a lot of homework assignments will be done against other databases on the same server. You can download that document and have a copy of it, or you can refer to it on Canvas when you need to. But be sure that you always use the right credentials to log into our server, because the credentials define where you can go amongst all the databases that are provided there on the server. Let's assume then that we want to do the first query in this assignment. You see there are 5 queries here that you'll have to write to complete this assignment completely. If we flip back over to SSMS, we're going to need to log in. Now, if you find yourself here and the screen is completely blank, File, Connect Object Explorer. You can type in the server name. I'm assuming that you are familiar with connecting to our SQL Server in general from the first assignment that you did in this class. The login will have been, you'll have found that in the document on Canvas that we just saw a moment ago, and I won't repeat the password. Uh-oh. Okay, after some behind-the-scenes magic, I was able to log in. I am logged in as Pop-Tarts login, which is the credential that you use to get into the database to access the data for this particular assignment. And remember, we saw that in the assignment. The assignment clearly says use the Pop-Tarts credentials as provided on Canvas. Okay, no problem, we did that. And you may be faced with something that looks like this now. If the Object Explorer is gone, View, Object Explorer, and according to the assignment, we use the Pop-Tarts database. I need to expand the database folder and look for Pop-Tarts. There it is. Be careful that you select the correct database, and you'll want to open that database. Wait for it to expand. You'll want to open the tables folder, and if you are unfamiliar with this database, and yes, I will throw databases at you that you have not yet seen, requiring you to study the structure of the database to learn more about it. You can see that there is a table called T Kroger Store, and a table called T Pop-Tart Flavor, and a table called T Kroger Store _ Pop-Tart Flavor. We will talk more about this particular structure in a later episode, but for now we're just talking about how to create an assignment. If you like, you can browse the tables to see that yes, there is some data in the tables. You do not have permission to edit the data in these tables. That protects you from all the other students and protects all the other students from you. The data may not look exactly like this when you actually do your homework. It looks like someone has been playing around in here, which is fine. Once we get to this point, we take a look at the first query that we need to write. It's query number Q1, and the data request is all Pop-Tart flavors in descending order, just the flavor, no other columns. Okay. So you've read the book, you've watched the videos that go with the chapter that you read, you're ready to start writing some queries. This is the query that you need to write to begin completing this assignment. You write it in SSMS. And you can leave these tabs open if you like, or you can close them. And then if they're all closed, you can hit New Query. And this is where you begin your work. You do not use the View Designer. You do not use any other visual tool. You simply use the text editor provided by SSMS to do these queries. If you like, you can put in comments. The comments start with 2 slashes. I accidentally put in 1 slash there. And a good comment might be Q1 followed by the data request. And that's a good comment. It kind of goes off the end of the screen, but we can fix that. And then we want to tell SQL Server what database we are querying, because there are many databases in this SQL Server instance. The name of the database we are querying is Pop-Tarts. In some circumstances, it will have become obvious to SSMS at this point what database you are querying, but it cannot hurt to put that statement in there because that eliminates the possibility of accidentally querying a different database. We want all the Pop-Tart flavors in descending order, and this lecture is not about how to write a query, so we'll just type in the query out of our heads. The field name is Pop-Tart flavor. SQL, the SQL language, is not case sensitive, but we do want to maintain case and be consistent. The keywords in blue go in capital letters, and the symbol names, the table names, and field names follow the case of the way they were created. I use camel casing, capitalize the first letter of each word, so the human eye can pick that up and read that with not a lot of trouble. Once we've typed it in, we can click execute. That runs the query or submits the query to the database engine, and hopefully it'll run. And there are all the flavors in descending alphabetical order. So this is a correct solution for this query. The next thing we need to talk about is how to turn this in. How do I put this into the submission I will be uploading to Canvas? And what I want from you is the top 10 rows, or the first 10 rows actually, and some important information at the bottom. If you look in the lower right hand corner of the screen, there is the number of rows that were returned in this results set, 112. I want that number. And the way I want that number is by shrinking this screen or adjusting the size of the screen appropriately so I get the first 10 rows. And if you give me the first 11, that's fine. I'm not going to beat you up on that. And at the same time, make sure that you don't hide any of the query. In this case, we have to do a little bit of editing magic because our comment stretched off the end of the screen. Trying to hit the delete key, it's not working. So in order to get the comment and the query, you have to do a little bit of resizing on these windows. But once you've resized it correctly, you have the first 10 rows in the results set. You have the total row count in the lower right hand corner of the window. And you also have something else that I want to see, but it comes along with all this information, is the login name, so I know how you logged in to access my database. Now what I want in the solution that you will be submitting to Canvas is just these two windows. Just the query, just the SQL, and then the results. So if you do a print screen here or a screen capture of some kind, you get way more information than you need. It makes a big mess and it's not readable when you paste it into Word. What you want to do is you want to grab the screen snip tool and grab just the part of the screen that you're going to paste into Word. You're excluding all the unimportant parts, which makes this much easier to read. And we're going to go back over to Word in our blank document that we created. and we're going to paste in the solution to query 1. We're not done yet with this solution, but you can see that this is readable. If you'd like to flip it into landscape mode because some of your screens get a little wide, that's perfectly fine. Landscape mode is fine, portrait mode is fine. The next thing you want to do is add a caption. Now the caption is going to have the query number and then the full text of the data request. If you flip back to the assignment again, he said confidently. Oh, I'm sorry, I have this dialog open. Cancel that. Now we can flip back to the assignment and we can grab the data request, which is the entire text in this cell of the table. Go back to our submission that we are building, add a caption to this figure, Q1 : paste, click OK. I got a little carried away with the Q1s there. Let's take one of those Q1s out. This is a correct solution for the first query in the assignment. We added a caption to the figure. The caption indicates the query number and the data request for that query. And when I grade this, I can look at it and I can see that you wrote the query correctly or incorrectly. I can see the results that you got. I can see the number of rows in the result set. And I can look at the caption and I can easily see what you think you were solving. The last thing to do then is to insert a page break, and the next query goes on the next page. One query per page. Make sure that the caption follows the figure. Don't put the caption on a separate page. If the figure gets too big, make sure the caption follows the figure, and just continue on that way to solve all the queries. And of course, before you turn this in, provide useful information to me so I know who you are. I don't have all of your ID numbers memorized, so be sure you tell me who you are. Name, course, semester, due date, assignment number. Put that in the header so it shows up on every page of your submission and you're good to go. When you're done, you submit this to Canvas as a Word document. You don't need to zip it. You don't need to submit anything else. Don't submit the assignment document with it. I know what the assignment is. Don't add anything else to it. Just submit the Word document in its native form and you're all set. So that concludes our presentation. If you have any questions, please post them in the FAQ on Canvas and they will be answered for you. Thank you.